Radioactivity and radioactive waste management. Radioactivity is a natural phenomenon which can also be produced artificially. It can be found in the cosmos, in certain materials in the Earth's crust, in the sun, and even in our own organism. What is radioactivity? The matter that makes up our universe consists of molecules that in turn consist of atoms. The nuclei of certain unstable atoms have the property of transforming spontaneously into others, releasing energy. This energy released is radiation, and the phenomenon is called radioactive decay or radioactivity. Protection against ionizing radiation. Nowadays, radioactivity is used in the generation of electricity, the diagnosis and treatment of diseases, biological and genetic research, archaeological dating, pest control, and industrial production processes, among others. The Spanish Nuclear Safety Council is the sole nuclear safety and radiation protection authority in Spain and is responsible for ensuring that radiation in nuclear facilities are registered and safe. What is radioactive waste? Radioactive waste is material for which no use is intended and which is or has been in contact with radioactive materials or contains a level of radioactivity above the established limits. Radioactive waste emits different types of radiation, mainly alpha, beta, and gamma, which can affect the environment and people. They have a different range and power of penetration, and therefore require different types of barriers to neutralize them. A sheet of paper, a sheet of aluminum, or a lead-lined concrete wall may constitute an appropriate barrier. Other barriers include time and distance. Types of radioactive waste. Radioactive waste is classified as very low, low, intermediate, or high-level waste in accordance with its activity and half-life, the time it takes for level of activity to reduce by half. Most waste generated in Spain is low and intermediate level waste, which half-life is under 30 years. This waste usually consists of materials used in nuclear medicine, in different industries, and operating materials from nuclear power plants. Included within this group is very low-level waste. Most of it comes from the decommissioning of nuclear power plants. These are solid materials, generally scrap and rubble. They represent a significant volume of low and intermediate level waste overall. High-level waste and spent fuel mostly arise from nuclear power plants. Their half-life is greater than 30 years, and they can be radioactive for thousands of years and emit heat. High-level waste is usually made up of materials that have been in direct contact with nuclear fuel or waste arising from the reprocessing of spent fuel. In Spain, from a management perspective, when nuclear fuel no longer has the desired energy performance for the generation of electrical power, it is considered radioactive waste. Radioactive waste management. Enresa, the Spanish Radioactive Waste Management Agency, is a non-profit public company responsible for the management of radioactive waste in Spain. Since its creation in 1984, Enresa performs the essential public service of transporting, handling, conditioning, and disposing of radioactive waste that is generated anywhere in the Spanish state, along with the decommissioning of nuclear facilities no longer in use and the environmental restoration of former uranium mines. Approved by the Council of Ministers, the 6th General Radioactive Waste Plan is the official document that brings together Enresa's current strategies and activities. The Ministry of Energy, Tourism and the Digital Agenda is responsible for the policy to be pursued in relation to radioactive waste management. Management adapted for each type of waste. All management and disposal solutions are based on the same strategy. Isolation of waste from people and the environment through the use of barriers until its radioactivity decreases to non-harmful levels. El Cabril disposal facility, located in Hornachuelos, Córdoba, is the site where very low, and intermediate level waste from nuclear power plants, hospitals, and research centers is definitely disposed of. The low and intermediate level waste disposal area is made up of the following barriers. Waste conditioned in drums. Concrete containers where mortar is injected to immobilize the content inside. Disposal vaults. Natural cover layers. The monitoring and control of the site will last for 300 years. Platforms are equipped with a system of infiltration control to guarantee the correct functioning of the barriers installed. The disposal area for very low-level waste is also a system based on the following barriers. Conditioning waste in solid form. Disposal structures comprised of natural materials, natural covering layers. Monitoring and control of the site will last for 60 years. Management of spent fuel and high-level waste. The first step in managing spent fuel is taken at nuclear power plants, where they are placed in temporary storage in pools to remove their residual heat. When pools reach their capacity or decommissioning of the plant is to begin, the spent fuel is transferred to special casks, metal or concrete, which are stored at the independent spent fuel storage installation on the site of the plant. The CTS is the strategy for temporary management of spent fuel and high-level waste. The purpose of the centralized temporary storage facility is to temporarily store all the spent fuel and high-level waste from Spanish nuclear power plants at a single site. With internationally recognized technology, this facility will solve the management needs of this type of waste in our country for decades to come. Enresa, along with its international partners, is conducting research on the next phase, a deep geological repository. Decommissioning of nuclear facilities. Enresa is also responsible for the decommissioning of nuclear facilities once their useful life has come to an end. How is a nuclear power plant decommissioned? There are 3 internationally categorized levels of decommissioning. In the case of Spain, Level 1, removal of spent fuel and other radioactive waste produced during the operation of the plant, leaving all facilities secure and under monitoring and control. This task is performed in collaboration with Enresa, although the operator of the plant retains ownership of the plant. Level 2, building demolition, leaving only the nuclear reactor confined in a purpose-built building. At this level, 80% of the site is cleared while it remains monitored. During this phase, ownership of the plant is transferred to Enresa. Level 3, complete dismantling of the nuclear power plant. At the end of the decommissioning, Enresa returns the ownership of the plant to the operator. Most of the materials arising from a dismantling are conventional, with no radioactivity involved. Decommissioning also generates radioactive waste that must be disposed of at El Cabril disposal facility and the CTS. International cooperation. Each country manages and disposes of its own waste within its own national territory. The existence of common management issues, whether as a result of their medical applications, research, or industry, has led to the creation of specialized international bodies that contribute to define universal standards for maintaining safety in waste management. Enresa maintains a close collaboration with all of them and participates in other cooperation programs. Enresa was created to perform an essential public service, protecting people and the environment from radioactive waste. To accomplish its mission, it is supported with the appropriate professionals, experience, and technology.